Hey, I'm Robert, Cooksaw Manufacturing. Want to talk to you about some ways to improve your sawing performance. So first thing I want to talk about is the blade. Sawmill doesn't do any good if we don't have a good blade on it. So when I'm looking at a blade, first thing I want to look at is it sharp. If the blade's not sharp, there's a lot of resistance. A dull blade's not cutting straight and it creates a lot of resistance, pulls a lot of power, and that'll cause it to deflect and cause it to wander as it's going through the cut. So I've got to have a sharp blade on the sawmill. That's first thing for sawing straight, sawing fast. Next thing I want to look at is the set of the blade. But what we want to talk about is the set of the blade. We've got a top set, a bottom set, and a straight tooth or a raker tooth. So the set on the blade is very important. That's creating a path for the blade to travel through. So when this blade's going through the wood, the body of the blade itself is not contacting the wood. It's the tip of the tooth. That's what's doing the cutting, and that's what we're focused on when we sharpen blades. But the tip of the tooth is what's doing the cutting. So we've got a top set and a bottom set, and they're creating a path, and that's going to be, it can range depending on what blades you're running, but typically 90 thousandths. And the body of our blades are 42 thousandths. So that has a gap where that blade's allowed to travel through the wood. So I don't have friction, I don't have heat buildup. It allows me to pull my sawdust out of the cut. So set is very important. When that set starts wearing down, and as I run the blade, as I sharpen a blade, I am wearing on it and reducing that set down. If the blade does not have enough set, it'll get pinched in the wood. That's creating a lot of friction, creating a lot of heat. When I get this blade hot, I lose control over it. So I've got to have that set to be able to saw straight. And you can experiment, play around with different sets. Our typical set's 24 thousandths. If you're doing something special and you want a different set, give us a call and we can work with you to provide blades that are set to your specs. Very important to have that set in the blade, and that's creating the path, allows the blade to travel through it. Next thing is on the mill itself. We've got to have true band wheels. As this blade travels around those wheels, it's pulling in and out. So it's running around that wheel and it's spinning about 60 miles an hour. Different mills be set up differently. We'll talk about blade speed here in just a minute. But that blade's spinning roughly 60 miles an hour going around those band wheels. If my band wheels are not true, that blade is bouncing, it's pulling, it's stretching. It cannot maintain a true consistent cut going through the wood, and it's putting a lot of stress, a lot of wear on the body of the blade when it's constantly pulling in and out. So I've got to have true band wheels. That will give me faster cutting performance. It also gives me better blade life. Pulling, stretching like that, that will wear on that blade. So I've got to have true band wheels. We're using, this is our MP32, but we're using steel band wheels on it, and they are precision ground. So when that blade goes around, it is running just as smooth as it can. Blade should look like a pencil line going across. So that would be the third thing we're looking at, is we've got to have true band wheels. Fourth thing would be our roller guides. Roller guides, and we are using roller guides, and we sell roller guide retrofits if your machine's not set up for it. That guide is pushing down on that blade, and I'm able to control that blade with the guide. So if my guide, I've got 8-way adjustment on it, I can push it down, I can tilt it up. I've got to have that blade flat, parallel, running true to the bed of the sawmill. If I'm going through the cut, my blade's tilted up, that's the way it's going to go. If I've got the blade tilted down, it's going to dive. So that blade has to be held true, running flat through the cut. Now if it's a dull blade, none of that matters. It's going to follow the least path of resistance. But on a good sharp blade, and I've got my guides lined up true with the bed of the mill, I can saw as fast as anything out there. So I've got to have good guides. They've got to be in alignment. And we'll talk about more about alignment in some of our other videos. But if that guide is not round, our roller guides are pushing down on the blade. So it would be pushing down on the blade here, and that allows me to tilt it and control the blade. So if that guide is out of round, it is beating on my blade, and they're spinning about 5,000 RPMs. That'll break a blade in a hurry. It'll cause that blade to vibrate, and I can see that show up in my wood sometimes. So So I've got to have guides that are round, and I've got to have guides that are adjustable so I can keep my blade true with the cut. Next thing we want to talk about is our lubrication. When I'm cutting, in different species will perform differently as far as the wood goes. We've got a southern yellow pine, and we see a lot of southern yellow pine. It's a very pitchy wood. So when I'm cutting and I get pitch buildup on my blade from sap or sawdust, I've got to keep it clean. That pitch buildup, it'll get on the blade, and if that gets thick enough, if I let it go long enough, it will control the angle of my blade, and it'll cause it to wander. That pitch will get on my band wheels, and that'll cause the blade to track in and out on those band wheels, and I lose control of it. So I've got to keep the blade clean. It's also going to generate a lot of heat. It's friction. So when that blade gets hot, I lose control. When it starts wandering in and out on those band wheels, I lose control. We use diesel fuel, automatic transmission fluid, kerosene, paint thinner. Anything with an oil base is going to cut pitch very, very well. We've got our super drip system, a felt pad that wipes onto the blade, rubs it on there, so it's very conservative. I'm not going to have diesel fuel smell on my wood. I won't have any residue left on it. It's just about a drop per second keeping a pad wet, so it's very conservative, doesn't leave any mess, but it keeps this blade clean. And if I can keep it clean, I'm not going to run into any heat, and if the blade doesn't get hot, I'm going to saw straighter, and I'm going to saw faster, and I'm going to saw longer. Next thing I want to talk about is how fast is my blade turning. So there's a lot of variables on how fast I want my blade to turn, and a lot of it goes back to how much horsepower we have on the sawmill. Our MP32, which is our entry-level hobby machine, is going to start at a 20 horsepower gas engine, and we do go up from there. But your horsepower will have a lot of, I guess, effect on how fast I want that blade to turn. So as the blade is turning around through the band wheels, it's also moving forward through the cut. And I've got to time that right. So if I'm sawing very slow, I don't want that blade spinning as fast as it can going through that cut. It's chopping that sawdust into a fine powder. It's going to leak over the edge of the blade, over the gullet, and that's going to create friction. That's going to create heat, and that's going to leave a lot of sawdust caked onto my boards. Now I don't want my blade spinning too slow if I'm trying to saw production, sawing faster. So the blade, and that's going to choke the blade out. You've got two spacing. This is a 7/8 two spacing here. And you can get wider two spacing and narrow two spacing depending on what you're cutting. Give us a call and we can kind of walk you through your situation. But 7/8 is our most common, most popular on the Dura-2 super sharp blade. But the speed of it, each tooth's taking a bite of wood, and we're reckoning it's about 10 thousandths of wood per tooth as it goes through the cut. So if I try to take more wood, if I'm pushing too fast and my blade's not spinning fast enough, and I try to take too much wood per tooth, it's essentially going to choke that blade down, put a lot of load on the tooth itself, and it's going to cause it to bog. A lot of pressure, a lot of resistance, and that'll cause that blade to start wandering. So my blade speed and my feed rate need to go hand in hand. Typical range you're going to see on a bandsaw is going to be 3,000 to 5,500 feet per minute with that blade spinning around. Give me a call and we can get some information from you and figure out how fast your blade's turning and how fast it needs to be turning. So a lot of variables on that, but the blade speed and the feed speed need to match. Sawing production, blade's got to spin fast. Sawing more as a hobby, I may look at slowing that blade down to achieve a better performance on it. So that's 6 ways that you can saw faster, you can improve your sawing. So I do appreciate you watching the video. Doesn't matter what kind of sawmill that you have, what kind of blades that you're currently using, you can give us a call. We'll help you out with any issue that you're having on any machine that you have. Sawmills, not machines, sawmills. Any sawmill that you have, we would be more than happy to help you out. We've got our super sharp blade. That's our best seller. We've got other options, so call me. We'll walk through kind of your situation, what kind of issues you're having, and we can see what if we can come up with a good solution to get you sawing faster, sawing straighter, sawing better. Appreciate you watching the video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, comment.